am very, very excited about this episode as I am taking a walk. And it's a little chilly out, so I have my most favorite shawl on. This thing, I found it in Destin, Florida, and I honestly want to find it online to give it as gifts for people. One, I love giving gifts, if you don't know that about me. Happy mail makes me so happy. Anyways, but it's a one size fits all, and it is like the coziest thing ever. I honestly think I could sell them from my trunk if that was safe. Anyways, I'm so excited for this episode of why it's actually more beneficial, healthier for you to stay in your comfort zone. About once a day, I see a post about getting out of your comfort zone, and that's how you are successful. And I used to believe that. I really used to believe that. I even, oddly enough, my first TED Talk, I'm going for a second TED Talk. I keep speaking it into existence, but my first TED Talk was do it scared. I used to write do it scared on my hand. I used to say it. I used to preach it. I used to believe it. And it's just a beautiful thing as you evolve. Your beliefs change, your lifestyle changes, your thoughts, your words, your actions, like that is a part of life. And before I get too far into this message, one, I hope it's not too windy, that you can still hear me, fingers crossed. But I want to give a shout out to Kristen Rourke with Busy Mom Bod that is sponsoring this very, very, very important message. And she helps busy women really be healthy. And I can't think of a better topic for her to sponsor than this one right here. So like I was saying, about once a day on social media, I see someone in the online space saying, get out of your comfort zone, get out of your comfort zone. That's where your success is, right? Your fear is in your comfort zone. And again, I used to believe that. I used to live that. I used to embody that. And I hated it. Oh my gosh. 555. Okay. All right. Here we go. So let's talk about this. So I don't judge anyone that says that, because that would be judging my old self too. That is just no longer my belief, and so I don't subscribe to it. And I think the beautiful part is sharing your journey, sharing your new perspectives. And so I want to share a quick story with you and then get into this topic. So about almost a year ago, wow, that's wild. Almost a year ago, I was at an event for one of our clients, and she did this appreciation event, and it was just like this fun like scavenger hunt where you went around the mall and you got to grab different things. And one of the goals on the list of the scavenger hunt was to grab something for you, for like self-care. Naturally, the nerd in me went to the bookstore, and one thing that I love to do at the bookstore is I love to look at all the books and see like which one pulls me like energetically. And so there was a book called The Comfort Zone by Kristen Butler, and it really spoke to me. And oddly enough, it was because I thought the book was about getting out of your comfort zone and how to do it and be more successful in doing it. And so I grabbed that book. Little did I know that book was gonna like completely change my whole life with what the mission and the vision and the philosophy of the book is, and how much data she uses to back up her belief of why it's actually healthier to stay in your comfort zone. And so for about a year now since I've read that book, it was in July, so it's a little shorter than a year. But as soon as I started reading it, I was like, this book is going to change my life. Like, I just knew it. I felt it. And I laughed because I thought it was the opposite of what the book was about. And so that book literally came at the perfect time as I was pulling myself out of postpartum depression. And it was because I was living in such a out of my comfort zone lifestyle and energy and embodiment that felt incredibly terrible. Like, it felt so bad. And I felt so unsafe in my body and in my mind. And I never felt like I was enough. I kept going and going and going. Very much hustle culture, which puts you in a state of burnout. It puts you in a state of survival. It puts you out of your comfort zone. And so I just started to try on what would it look like if I actually stayed in my comfort zone in every aspect of my life and in my business. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. Like truly, like when you really think about it, there are very, very few things that you actually have to do in life. And so she talks about in the book all the data of why it's actually healthier to stay in your comfort zone. And equally, if your comfort zone is like the size of a quarter, but you have these big goals and dreams, like obviously you're going to need to expand your comfort zone in order to create those big goals and dreams and have room for them, right? So she talks about how to slowly do that, so that way you don't rock your nervous system to the point where you're out of your comfort zone and you're in like surviving mode and burnout mode and all of the things. And I loved some of the examples that she gave of like, when it's cold, you want to be warm. When it's hot, you want to be cold. That's seeking comfort. When you're crying, you want somebody to hold you, right? Like think of a baby. Like when a baby is crying, it wants to be comforted. Even as an adult, like I want somebody to hug me and tell me that it's okay. You have a certain amount of money that you desire to be in your bank account that makes you feel comfortable. I've been relaxing at home a lot this weekend, and I have sat in my favorite spot. It's super comfy. It's at the corner of the couch with a blanket, a pillow behind me because that props my back up. And I've just like been sitting and relaxing because that's comfortable to me. I feel most comfortable when I'm not on like a busy schedule. I feel like I can actually breathe. I can be present. I don't have to be in like go, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle mode. When I have, you know, a certain amount of money in my bank account, like I shared, like I feel like I can breathe. I feel like I can like let my guard down and just like be present, right? And so for the last year, as I've been going through the naked method, the comfort zone philosophy really found me at the perfect time of like, even right now, like I'm on a walk. I could be running right now, but it didn't feel good to run. I wanted to move my body. There was a training that I was listening to, and then I knew I wanted to go live, and I have like some sinus pressure. So I was like, let me just walk. I'm gonna grab a shawl. The wind is blowing. It feels very comfortable. It feels very good. Very recently, I've gotten asked a few questions of like, can you do this? Can you do that? Whether it's schedule or money or whatever it may be. And I've politely and kindly declined because it didn't feel comfortable to me. And so if you've been living in survival mode, burnout mode, hustle mode, it will feel unsafe. I will be honest with you. It will feel unsafe to stay and be in your comfort zone because you have believed for so long that you can't. The world tells you, believe that the data will appear. Get out of your comfort zone. Hustle, hustle, hustle. And so there's going to be some like unraveling to do. I am still finding there is unraveling that I am working on, but the amount of peace that I have felt, the internal weight that I have released by not being extreme. Like I have, watched my portions. I've drank more water. I've journaled. I've meditated. By any means, I'm not perfect. I drink happy juice, which is helpful for inflammation. I just added in more vitamins. And so I've been slowly, adding in more things. But I really do believe so much of it is energetics as well, of like just being comfortable and safe and expanding that comfort zone. And, any darkness that appears, working through it. So like I did a social media detox a few weekends ago, and that really showed me some pieces and parts of me that I'm still working through. And so it's just so interesting to me because I deeply desire more women and more of anyone to experience the peace that can be found in the comfort zone, how healthy it can be. Like even today, like we were at the park, didn't document anything, and we were leaving the park, and Emma goes, "Can we get a family picture?" And literally my heart like melted inside. And she took it. I will literally frame that photo. Like the angle that it is, the smiles, the peace, like it is a moment in time that I love that she captured, and she did it all on her own. Like she took the photo. Like, it was just pure magic. It was pure magic, and it made my heart so happy. And I've just noticed the more that I've been on this Naked Method journey, the more I've been leaning into my comfort zone and expanding it, because I've got big goals and dreams. But I've tried them by being out of my comfort zone. I've tried the hustle, grind. And like I said, I still catch myself. But I've tried it that way so many times. And, you know, not to say that I've failed, but like, it hasn't felt good. So in my eyes, it has failed because it doesn't feel good. And I want it to feel good. I truly do want it to feel good. And so, you know, about last year when I found that book, well, I should say it found me, to be honest. There was just too many things that happened for me to pick up that book. I'm like, holy smokes. Like, I've asked Kristen to come speak to all of our wealthy mamas, because she, like, without even knowing her, she's like changed my life. And I want to like literally have that book on repeat because it's been so life-changing. But it's been even less than a year since I've read that, because it was like towards the end of July that I actually started reading it. I found it at the beginning of July. So yeah, it's not even been a year. And it's just so interesting how good it has felt, how people have slowly started to notice, and how I've really regulated myself through that. And like, if you saw my stories the other day, Emma and I were on a quick walk, and cause she wanted to ride her new bike, and I found a dead snake, like, and we live in like the suburbs, like kind of country-ish, but suburbs, and it was just a dead snake on our road. Again, what are the odds? Like, there are no accidents. And so I immediately was like, that's a spiritual sign. Let me look up a dead snake. And it wasn't alive. And so I thought the dead snake was actually going to be bad. I even told Jared, I looked it up. And he's like, is it bad? And I would go, I thought it was going to be, but it's actually a really good thing. Snakes have to shed their skin. A dead snake is actually like a symbol spiritually of like toxic poison, bad things. Like, they're dead. They're dying. They're done. You're opening up, like, you've shedded your skin, and you're opening up new possibilities for the future. And I was just like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank goodness. And ironically enough, like a couple weekends ago, I saw a white squirrel out here, and it was like financial abundance. So it was just like two things in the kind of nature wilderness. Like, I say that because there's a bunch of houses around. Like, it's not like hardcore nature, but like two very rare things happened so close in time that I'm just like, this is wild. Like, this is so cool and so amazing. Like, I have a lot of out of body experiences that I'm like, I almost feel like I'm living, like I'm watching the movie, but I'm in the movie, if that makes any sense. It's very interesting to me how that feeling, it's hard to describe, but like the watching the movie and being in the movie is how it feels to me. But I think it's because I'm just so self-aware that it's like, I almost feel like I have a bird's eye view of everything. And so I want to talk about the comfort zone and how to like start to implement it. So first and foremost, whatever doesn't feel good in your life and in your business, it's either got to be put on pause, or it gets to be adjusted to feel better, or it gets to go. So you get to decide, and you could literally write down on Post-it notes. I love me some office supplies. Like, I'm living a very minimalist journey, but I still love me some office supplies. And so you could write down on individual Post-it notes, what is everything that just does not feel the greatest? It doesn't even have to like feel like bad, like air quotes bad, but it just doesn't feel that great. It kind of feels like blah, blah, meh, okay, good, but not great. But write it all down, like on individual Post-it notes, your life, your business, and write it all down. And then what you could start to do is to categorize. You could categorize if it's going to be put on pause, if you're going to like let it go, delete it, depending on what it is or who it is, let it go, delete it, or like tweak it, we'll say tweak it, because tweak it sounds like twerk it. So you could tweak it. So it's pause it, tweak it, or let it go. Okay. I really like that. Pause it, tweak it, let it go. Like let it go, like Elsa, let it go, let it go. Okay. Anyways, so you're in charge. And you could even have a question mark category if you're just like, man, I don't know. Trust that. If you don't know yet, just put it in the question mark category, because it may not be time yet. Like if you're not solid on what it is, like if you can't come up with a decision on those 3 categories, put it in a question mark and move on. So that way you don't like stress yourself out. The goal when you're in your comfort zone is to be in peace, joy, serenity, excitement, happiness. Like all good things live in the comfort zone. Like think about it. Like when you're enjoying your favorite meal, you feel so good. When you're around amazing people, you feel so good. After I do this walk and like serving you, I will feel so good. Like I feel good right now, and I'll feel good after. When I drink water, like I had so much water yesterday, more than I've had in a really long time. And I was like, my body feels so good. It's like the simple things in life, right? When I clean our house, I feel so good. These are examples of living in your comfort zone. It's feeling good a lot of the time. Like there's still going to be moments where you have sadness, where you have frustration, where you have anger. But the beautiful part about knowing your comfort zone so well is that you don't have to stay in those feelings. Like you can feel them, you can work through them, and then you can be in your comfort zone so much more. So it's not about pretending that things aren't there, that you're not feeling something. It's actually quite the opposite, because you crave the peace so much. Like I have had so much guilt-free relaxation this weekend and still gotten things done for my business with just like tons of ease, flow, and fun. Like there was one point, I think it was this morning, it all blends together. We're gonna cut through over here. But there was a point this morning. I wish I would have been able to take a picture, but it just didn't work out. But like Boone was like laying on me. I'm in my comfortable spot on the couch, and I'm with one hand doing edits on our website. So he's laying on me. I'm doing edits on our website, and I wanted to do it. Like Jared's like, do you want me to take him to his room? I'm like, nah, it's like he's comfortable on me. Like I don't get these moments that often. Like it actually felt comfortable to be in that energy in that moment. Like I wanted it, I chose it. And so when you're doing this post-it note exercise, you will realize more likely than not, you will realize how much you're living outside of your comfort zone, right? The goal is to get you in your comfort zone way more and keep you there. And that way we can start to expand it. And when we can expand it, and then you can stay there longer, and you allow more room in for like the big goals and dreams and all of those things. And so this is so powerful, because in order to be in your comfort zone more and to expand it, and you to enjoy all of it, there's a lot that's gotta be either paused, tweaked, or let go. And so this was where really the naked method emerged for me, because I realized that. I realized how much pressure I put on myself, how much I was living out of my comfort zone for so many years. And I also knew, okay, like if I'm gonna do this, like one, I'm doing it, I'm choosing me. I even like wrote that on my hand so much last year. I'm choosing me, I'm choosing my family. And I get to have courage. It takes a lot of courage to be in your comfort zone and expand it. I get to speak up for myself. I get to be, as kind as I can. I get to be in integrity as much as I can. And also know that not everyone's going to understand it. I'm a little lost. There we go. Not everyone's going to understand it. Not everyone's going to like it. And that's okay. Do my best. This was kind of like my pep talk to myself. Like, do my best to be respectful and in integrity and be kind, and to sometimes let go. Like, the letting go for me over this last year has been by far the hardest, even with stuff. Like, stuff, people's opinions of me, just like so many things. Like letting go has been probably like the hardest thing for me. However, the most healthy thing for me. I want to live as long as I possibly can. Like I want to do at least everything in my power to live as long as I possibly can and be healthy living. And so when I really like ask myself, like, what would wealthy me do? I also ask myself, like, what would healthy me do? I'm making sure that I'm putting the time and effort in to create that, because if I want to live as long as I can to, be with my kids, be with my husband, be able to, just continue to give back to this world in however way I'm supposed to, and just truly live, I've got to take care of me. Mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. Like, wealth is not an accident. Like, it happens in the small moments day to day, or it doesn't. And so although last year was so painful, it was also so beautiful that it's created so many blessings and positive feelings this year that have just been amazing. Like, there's been so many situations recently that like I've stayed so regulated during, and I'm just like, wow, this is wild, like how regulated I am. Like, yes, I love this. Like, it doesn't have to be stressful or overwhelming or consuming. Like, I can just like work through it and be myself and continue to move forward. And that's just like, that's emotional freedom. I think, time freedom is great. Financial freedom is great, but none of it matters unless you've got emotional freedom. And so everything that we're talking about today is that emotional freedom, and it takes time. But the beautiful part about emotional freedom is it's what creates more time freedom and money freedom. Because before I lived in my comfort zone as much as I am now and expanded it and worked on the naked method, right? Like, they go hand in hand. They're almost like BFFs. Like, the comfort zone and the naked method are like best friends. So before that, I still felt unsafe keeping money. I had this narrative. I'm still working on it today. It's much better. But I had this narrative that I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to have large amounts of money in my bank account. I can make it. I can make it with my eyes closed. But to keep it felt so unsafe. Not good enough. Like, I'm doing enough for my clients, doing enough for our family, doing enough as a human. Like, oh my gosh, that's probably been the biggest block for me, is the not enough. And I wonder why. That's what I felt for most of my life, in so many ways. And so it's deep rooted in me, and I can notice how it has either stopped me or I've self-sabotaged because of that belief. And so it can be painful to call yourself forward, but it also can be so healthy and so helpful to really like shed light on it and be like, okay, like I even literally today shared with Jared, my husband, I was like, I so deeply want to fully believe I am enough. And he's like, I want that for you too. And I'm like, I'm so inviting that in. Like, I'm calling it in. People can tell me all day, every day. I know it's a block. I've definitely worked through a lot of it, but I still feel it. I still notice it in my day-to-day, in my thoughts and my beliefs. And so it's still a block for me. And I'm working through it, and I'm inviting it in, and I'm calling in, like, I want to fully believe it. Like, I fully want to embrace it, because I know that's what's going to lead. It's the domino effect for me. I know from an emotional freedom standpoint, it's the thing that's going to fully set me free. It's like, I'm so close and I can feel it, and I know what's waiting for me on the other side, and I'm also not forcing it. So like, me just even saying that to Jared today was like a big step, because like, instead of just like, oh, I don't feel like I'm enough, I didn't come to him like that. I was like, dude, I want to. Like, I am right there with you. Like, it felt very empowering. Like, I was calling it in, and it felt very positive. And that was really, really refreshing, that it felt so positive, with like my biggest block. Like, it was actually kind of ironic because I was like, yes, I want to fully feel like I am enough and that I'm doing enough. And like, I want my actions to reflect that and my energy to reflect that. And so I'm so self-aware and I'm so calling it in, and it's just interesting to me. So that's to be continued. But like, ask yourself, what is your biggest block? Like, what's the big loop for you? Because like, I'm a human just like you. Like, please do not put me on a pedestal. One, I would probably fall off. But like, don't put me on a pedestal. Like, we are peers. I happen to teach, but I am just as much a student as I am a teacher. But it doesn't make me better than anyone. I don't know it all. I don't have all my shit together. I'm a human being that is flawed and imperfect, but like, equally is so more than enough. And so I'm going into like a energetic practice, if you will, of, you know what, it's time to like really work on this barrier for me. And it doesn't feel forced. It feels like, okay, what can I do every single day to feel like I am enough? And really, to me, like, the thing that's just landing on me right now is to just trust whatever I'm supposed to do that day is what I'm supposed to do and what I get done, and trust that whatever I get done is exactly what I was supposed to get done. And that's more than enough. Like, it's more than enough. And I don't have to go to bed like in a shame cycle. I don't have to stay up late. That's being out of my comfort zone. So I just think the more I stay in my comfort zone and expand it, that is being enough. And like, also believing that my big goals and dreams, so this is a big one that's literally hitting me right now as we're on our walk together, you and me. The thing for me is I haven't believed that my big goals and dreams can happen by being in my comfort zone, by being my true authentic self. And I don't believe that anymore. I don't believe that anymore. If you would have asked me 6 months ago, I still would have been on the fence, to be honest. But now I don't believe it because I know how good it feels to be in my comfort zone. So I'm like, why wouldn't it happen in my comfort zone? Like, and equally, if it was supposed to happen outside of my comfort zone, I feel like it should have already happened. Because like, I know the work ethic that I've put in. I know the hours I put in. I know the money that I've put in. So actually, me being in my comfort zone, I think, is the only solution. Because it would have already happened. Like, it would have already happened. So I owe it to myself to try it this way. And I think that was the big thing for me as I was reading the Comfort Zone book last year. I was like, well, I've tried the hustle and grind way and the burnout way. I've tried it many times. Like, there is definitely a pattern of hustle, burnout, hustle, burnout, hustle, burnout. And it's attached to not feeling like enough. And so what if I just tried this way? And already without my big goals and dreams being accomplished, it already feels incredible. And I think for me, this is exactly how it was supposed to happen, because I keep visualizing us moving into our dream home. Like, I can see it, I can feel it. I literally have premonitions of it. Like, premonitions are essentially like daydreams during the day. Like, I have so many premonitions of like driving through the woods, seeing our dream home, and like walking in with pizza, and it just feels so peaceful and happy and content and comfortable. And it's not like this stress burnout, like where you can't even enjoy your dream home. I would feel so sad if, like, yes, we created the money that we're desiring for our dream home. We found it, we did all the things, because like, you can manifest by being burnt out. You absolutely can. I've done it. Don't recommend it. But like, I would be so incredibly internally sad if I couldn't enjoy it because I was hustling so much, like, and I was so exhausted. And so I have these premonitions more and more and more than I ever had even in the burnout. Because when you are in such a high vibrational energy, you can actually attract what you're desiring so much easier. And so the best thing that you can do is take care of you, which is why Kristen is such a perfect person to sponsor this episode. So another shout out to Kristen Rourke with Busy Mom Bod. I love her so much. She is such an inspiration to me because she takes care of herself so much, like so much. And so when you're in this high vibrational energy, because you've put yourself there, it just doesn't magically happen. You taking care of you is how you get in the high vibrational energy and you stay there. So like just even a couple days ago, I was in a very high vibrational energy because there's the dead snake. You can't really see it anymore because it's like smushed. It's like you can't even see it. But there it is, smushed. It was very much full a few days ago. Anyways, I had like person after person reaching out to me, people that have followed me for a year saying, hey, I've followed you for a year. Like this happened back to back to back. It was so cool. I was going to say it was freaking me out, but it wasn't freaking me out. It was like so cool. It felt like magic. But that's like the high vibrational energy. Why did all of them reach out to me on that day? I didn't do anything different. I didn't have they didn't know I had a special that I was about to launch. But they all reached out to me like person after person after person. Like, I'm ready to go. Like, tell me what to do. Like, it happened so fast. And guess what? I had one thing on my calendar on Friday, and it was lunch with girlfriends. And I even noticed before the lunch with girlfriends, I was like, I have so many things I could be doing right now. This has nothing to do with them. I have so many things I could be doing right now. I need to clean my house. And I just stopped the noise. I stopped the chaos. And I was like, you asked these girls to go to lunch. And I remember sitting at that lunch feeling so peaceful, so content, so happy. And as I'm at this lunch, these messages are happening. Again, I had nothing crazy going on for all of these messages to happen besides me consistently showing up, me doing the work over the last year, and equally being in a high vibrational energy that for some odd reason on the same exact day within hours of each other, all of these people are messaging me. And when I say all, it was about 5 people, but to a business owner, especially a small business owner, that's beautiful. Yes, please, more please. Thank you very much. People that are actually excited to do the work, that are ready to do the work. Those are my favorite kind of people. Oh my gosh. And they chose me, right? They chose the wealthy mama. It is a true reflection of doing the work. And you don't get those things until you do the work. And you can't do the work because of those things either. It's a very interesting thing. It can't be contingent on you making a certain amount of money. It can't be contingent on you losing a certain amount of weight. It very much needs to be because you're choosing yourself. At least that's my belief. And that's when it feels the best. And when you do that, it's a true, authentic choice that gets you in that high vibration, which is amazing. So do the post-it note exercise. Let me know how it works for you. And then one by one, take the post-it notes and pause it, tweak it, or let it go. And you'll find most likely the let it go category is, at least for me, it's the hardest. So maybe start with the easy stuff of tweaking things. Tweaking is probably the easiest. And then go to the pause. Go to the letting go. And go at a pace that feels good to you. That is key in the comfort zone, is going at a pace that feels good to you. I have days where I'm Energizer bunny by choice. And then I have days where I'm and I'm going to get one thing done today, right? And I've just slowly started to honor that and allow that to be beautiful and amazing, which is attached to being enough. So I'm still a work in progress, but I love the quote, you get to be, and you are a work in progress just as much as you're a masterpiece. And I think that's every single human on the planet. And the ones that are doing the work are feeling the masterpiece even more. When you're not doing the work, you can't see the masterpiece. It's there. Your masterpiece is already there. But if you're not doing the work, it's hard to see it and recognize it. And so just even simple things like today of Emma at the park wanting a family photo felt like such a masterpiece moment. Long gone are the days that I need these big grand things. I even told Jared, here, I'm going to go ahead and sit down over here. I thought I was going to be done talking, but I still have more I want to say. I was telling Jared the other day, yeah, I really, like, I thought I wanted to go back to Hawaii. But as of right now, I really don't. Like, and he was like, what changed for you? I was like, honestly, I would rather use that money to go towards our dream home, or, you know, take a lesser expensive vacation. Like, we could afford it. But that's the whole goal of like choosing where your money goes. And he just smiled and he's like, interesting. So I think he's noticing like the mindset shifts in me of like, okay, a week in Hawaii sounds great, but we're also in such a busy season with our kids. Like, to leave for a week would be so hard. Like, it could happen, but again, would it be in our comfort zone? A long weekend, easy peasy. Like, a long weekend in Vegas with my husband is pretty easy. Between airfare points that I have, he has rewards for hotels. There's a few restaurants that we love. Like, it's a very easy, affordable trip, super fun. That's where we got married. And equally, like, a weekend away is very easy, like, to get childcare with my mother-in-law. So Emma wouldn't be missing school or anything like that. So Jared wouldn't be missing a lot of work. So it's like, that's like a comfort zone decision. And then we have so much more money to put towards other goals. And so it's just interesting how like your mindset and your decisions start to change the more you're in your comfort zone, and it just naturally expands, kind of like when you're blowing up a balloon. The more air that you blow into the balloon, the bigger the balloon gets. And that's a lot like your comfort zone. When you like breathe life into your comfort zone, it will naturally expand. Like, I have been saving my own money. Like, we always save money as a couple, but like, I've been saving money in my business. I literally have just like, my whole philosophy of decision making has evolved. Me as a person have evolved. Like, the reason why I started growing out my hair is because of, you know, the naked method and the comfort zone. Like, it's all attached, and it's just so interesting, and how much quantum leaping has happened in such a short amount of time is because of the naked method and the comfort zone. Like, again, they're like BFFs. So again, if you have any questions, I'm going to keep talking about this topic because it's changed my life in so many beautiful ways, and it continues to do so. And I'm still learning and going through it, but I think it's important to share it in real time. So just again, shout out to Kristen. Thank you so much. And just know that like, you deserve to be in your comfort zone, and it's one of the healthiest, most powerful things that you can do. And if you've believed getting out of your comfort zone is the only way to success, just try this way. Read the Comfort Zone book. She backs up so much research with why it's actually better and healthier to be in your comfort zone, and you can still get to all of your goals, all of your dreams, and it to feel better. So just try it out. Humor yourself. And try out something else, because this is exactly how I am doing everything that I'm doing, is because of living more minimalist, which is the naked method, and being more minimalist, and equally being in my comfort zone and allowing it to be safe and it to feel good every step of the way. Not like, oh, well, when I get there, then I'll enjoy it, or when I get there, then I'll feel safe. No, not anymore. So I love you so much. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And I cannot wait to see if you go on your own naked method journey, expand your comfort zone, because it could quite literally change your life and help you live longer. Hello, yes, please.